Weekly with Brianna T. Seth P. We took a week off, but guess what? We brought in the big guns. That's right. Look who it is. Newest selectman, Karen Conley.
Connolly, yes.
She showed up.
Karen C. rhymes with.
I know. I can do that. Well, that was your campaign.
Karen C?
No, you showed up.
That's right.
She showed up.
Sorry, I forgot my campaign slogan. I did show up.
Thanks for doing that. Thanks for doing. We got lots to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about schools. We're going to talk about the water situation going on. Karen, we're going to talk about Cedar Point.
That's fine.
You okay with that?
I'm fine.
We're going to go there. But first, in the headlines, we got to talk about that senior center and the planning board. Guess what? They made a vote on the future of the senior center proposal. All right, if you're for one of those few people that don't know what we're talking about, for the 234th time, let's look at a picture of the aerial here. Okay, folks, this is the plan that voters approved earlier this year. It calls for the C wing to come down. The A wing, that's the gym, that's the rec center, homes department, that gets a little makeover, gets a new roof, an elevator, and the B wing remains the same. Now, at this planning board meeting before they vote, there was a lot of chatter about traffic, lights, privacy fences, but what this came down to was the B-wing. And once again, the B-wing remains the same. There is no future plan for it, and there's no future plan for parking there. So before the planning board voted, they offered their thoughts about this whole process, and let's just say they weren't necessarily happy. Take a listen.
Do I think we could have done much better as a town? Most certainly. And finally, just that this whole process as a planning board member who donates a lot of time trying to do planning in this town, I am very disheartened with how this went, and I'm going to leave here disappointed no matter what the outcome. Thanks.
Would I do it if this was somebody else other than the town and something other than our senior center? Correction, I guess I've reached that point. Senior center. No.
We wanted to be clear that we stated that the applicant has not done any long-term planning for this site. And I think Bill is absolutely right that we boxed ourselves in on this site.
My job as an elected member of the planning board is to do what is in the best interest of the entire town of Scituate. And I believe in planning. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not planning.
It was intense.
It was. All right, so everyone's on the edge of their seat, and then the planning board voted. Here's the vote.
Okay, we'll take a vote. We'll start with Bill. Yes or no?
A reluctant yes.
Patty? No. Ben?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your turn.
My turn? I am so disappointed with how all of this came about. I really, truly am. This is, you've got your senior center. I'm voting no. So it's 3-2.
3-2. There you have it. It was intense, and I got to tell you, so the majority of the people in the audience were supporters, of course. They were not happy with the planning board whatsoever about this either. I mean, they wanted to stand up and say things. So we got to put you on the spot. Do you agree, as a selectman, do you agree with this plan is not well planned?
No, I would say that what has happened to us is Scituate has very little land that it can use. We've seen that with fields, we've seen it with a number of things, and if you go back to the beginning where the senior center proponents wanted a standalone building, that's where the original box got created. And once we looked at all the various sites, it was clear that 3 of them could not be done, and the 4th one behind the library had more issues than I think people thought. And I will say that no matter which of the sites we chose, whether it was behind the library or the Gates School campus, we would have had issues. And don't forget that the neighborhood where the library is, they're building a brand new senior housing complex, and that will have parking challenges. And then you add on top of that, if you put the senior center over there, that would have added more parking problems. Plus, you'd be encroaching on a very, very residential neighborhood. You know, the fact that we have a real need for fields in town also created the situation where, when the selectmen decided to move not tear down the Gates building, which is yet another story, that, it created problems about, well, if we put the senior center behind the Gates building, which would be my preference, then we would be losing some field space,
Sure.
plus probably the tennis courts. So it's a complicated issue, and I absolutely believe that what we need to do now is the selectmen need to step forward with some options for people to consider about what we do with the rest of the Gates building. And I think we should put it out there and ask developers, ask people to give us their ideas about what potential uses the Gates building might have. And if we have to give it away to a developer for nothing, to have them build more senior housing, affordable housing, maybe that's what we have to do. But I'm committed to, within the next year, hopefully the rest of the board will agree with me that we need to get on that Gates building and figure out what to do with it.
Sure. I do want to mention briefly, they did talk a little bit about traffic. Traffic is always an issue. They did rule, the traffic engineer, before it was an issue, but people were like, oh, this is part of the project. An engineer ruled it was not the scope of this project. However, they did say one thing that could come in front of the selectmen was Cudworth, and making Cudworth one way. Do you feel like you can say you would agree with that, or do you need...
I need more information about that. I think that's going to have an impact on, it's not that many houses, but it's enough houses
Sure.
that we would have to
Right.
think about it. I know a lot of people think that that is a really good answer. It may be the answer, I don't know.
Okay. All right, so that rolls on as well. Okay, now that summer's over, bye summer people, bye. I mean, we loved them at first,
miss them
right?
so much.
Bye. Hope you spent your money. Hope
love
you
our
spent your
summer
money. We
people.
do. They're special. But now that they're gone, now we do a whole flushing so we can clean out all that water and make all the brown water go away. Now, we did this week, but now here's what you need to know. I thought the story was going to be bigger. I thought social media was going to be all up in arms over this. There was little to no chatter about this. Now, just to backtrack, just so you know, the deal was we have a water tower in town that's very full from all the rain, so we can do a massive flushing. But the problem is that there is a valve at the bottom of this water tank that is, I think it's from 1938, and it needs to be replaced. In order to do that, we have to take the water tank offline. Now, if you didn't know this, the water tank, it essentially is a pressure thing that pushes the water through the pipes. When you take the tank offline, that causes the water to shift a little bit, sometimes reverse, and that can cause brown water. Now, this only lasted a few days, but once that, so at any rate, the pipe's fixed, and now the flushing can begin. Interesting fact. We have a new flushing system this year. It is called the Engineered Unified Flushing System. The town brought in an engineer that studied how, I know this is fascinating.
This is riveting stuff.
Riveting
Seth.
stuff, Karen, you into
It
it?
is if you're dealing with brown water.
Hey, there you go.
I can't wait to hear.
Here is our DPW director, Kevin Cafferty, talking about it.
So what that entails is we take a lot of these water lines and we run large quantities of water at a higher velocity through there, which gives the aspect of scouring the pipe, and it removes the sediment that's in the pipe. So we feel that if we run a lot of this unidirectional flushing program, we can eliminate a lot of the sediment that is in the pipes that creates brown water. It's not going to be all of it, and it's going to be a system that we use year in and year out, that we do flushing, but we're trying to improve the problem and help eliminate some of the brown water.
So again, you know, we've done the flushing in the past, and people might be like, "Oh, it's just this is different." They're doing this engineer said, "You start here, move here, move here, move here."
Smart.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I do. But so while you're here, I want to talk briefly. You know, there's been mention at a couple selectmen meetings about the individuals in town that have chronic brown water and giving them what, like free filtration systems.
Hopefully that the town would provide them with a free home filtration system for their water, and that we would provide them with replacement filters. And at some point in time, when the brown water is gone, then, you know, they won't need more filters. And at some point in time, people will have to replace their own filters. But the water department is coming to the Board of Selectmen this coming meeting with a proposal for us to discuss.
Nice.
So I think it's only fair that if you have a chronic problem, and again, it's going to be a matter of how we define it, but if you have a chronic problem, you shouldn't have to have, you know, we should provide you with a way of having clean water.
Yeah, good. Side note, I'm talking to a real estate agent. Now, you know, if you go on social media, you know there are some individuals that want to bring a lot of attention to Scituate and this water issue we have. This real estate agent said to me, he's very concerned what they're doing is driving down the real estate market when you do that.
Interesting.
Because it's sort of like Flint, Michigan. Like you hear Flint, you'd be like, I'd never buy a home there.
Yeah.
And that you don't want to
If
become
you're
like
on
Scituate.
the news all the time, I get the point. But if you're on the news all the time for having
Yeah.
brown water, does anyone really want to invest in the town? Business owners and also homeowners.
Right.
Well, and we're far from the only town with brown water
That's true.
issues.
It's very true.
You know, I think the issue with brown water is the unexpected nature of it. That you get up in the morning, you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you have brown water. I live in a part of town, knock on wood, we have not had brown water. But I know a lot of people do, and it's the unexpected nature of it that really drives people crazy. And I can't say as I blame them. So hopefully all the work we're doing on the water treatment plant, on the filters that we're adding, on the new pipes we're adding, and on flushing will be helpful.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the town did a huge promotional push for all this water work that they're doing. I think that did pay off and really calm, like as long as people know what's about to happen, what's coming at them,
That's a good
it's
point.
good. All right, let us move on to Cedar Point. Karen, you are up. This is good, we've waited for this.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes, all right, if you don't know what's going on, Cedar Point, Lighthouse Road, what you call it what?
Lighthouse Point.
Lighthouse Point, okay.
But it's called Cedar Point.
Yeah, so they got sewer system problems, huge sewer system problems, so much that it's put in massive strain on the wastewater treatment center. So they need a new one. So the town hired consultants, and the consultants went in front of the Board of Selectmen and gave them two options. Here they are. Option 1 is a pressure system. Option 2 is a zero gravity system. Folks, I'm not going to go into the details of each one of these. If you want, you go watch those exciting meetings. Karen sat through quite a few. All right? Now, the town and the consultants said the best option was option 1, saying it was less expensive but better for the area, and they were ready to go on this project right away, to start right now. The residents, at least the ones who showed up at the meetings, wanted option 2, saying although it was more expensive, they were willing to pay that additional cost, and they felt that option 1 would require constant future maintenance. The selectmen voted, and in a vote of 3-2, they chose option 2, zero gravity. That is right. So the 3 that voted for it: Chair Tony Vignani, Vice Chair Sean Harris, and newest selectman Karen Conley. Karen, the town administrator, said option 1 was best. The DPW said option 1 was best. The EPA said option 1 was best. The DEP said option 1 was best. The consultant said option 1 was best. You chose option 2. Why?
Well, first of all, I don't think the EPA or the DP, the Department of Environmental Protection, actually preferred one system over the other. So, because I specifically asked the engineer that night, are you telling me that DEP and EPA want us to do the pressure
Right.
system? And she backed off.
Okay.
So.
But at first she did say that they
She
were
did,
going.
but then, you know, when pressed a little bit, she said, well, so, let me put it this way. I felt as though I made the correct vote that night. But when I got home, I started thinking, do the residents really know that a betterment, a substantial betterment, is coming their way with the gravity system? And
And we should very quickly explain that to people. The betterment, this comes out of those residents' pockets. They are
Correct.
going to pay the difference in price here.
every house is going to pay the same betterment. So it doesn't matter what your tax bill is, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're going to pay the same amount as your next door neighbor for this new system, the gravity system. The problem that I had with the other system was, number one, there's a lot of electrical components to it. There are a lot of mechanical components to it. We all know that Cedar Point has power outages that can last for days after storms because they become inaccessible because of boulders and debris and the ocean. And because of that, I became very concerned about the power issue out there. Second of all, the next day I got quite a few emails from other citizens in town who were very concerned about other issues related to the wastewater treatment plant and coming up to capacity as to how much we can discharge. So I really had to take a step back, and I talked to Tony Vignani, and I said, people are asking me, can we reconsider the vote? And he said, yes, we can. So I said, well, could we do that? And I spent the next 10 days talking to as many people as I could. And I spent that time also looking at different studies. And I came across one particular study that suggested that if you are in a storm-prone area that has prolonged power outages, that system would require a backup generator to power the entire system, not the houses in the point, but the entire sewer system. And we didn't have that in that plan. And so I really felt as though, to be fair to the neighbors, that given their somewhat unique circumstances out there, I know that there are pressure systems in other parts of town, but those other parts of town are not subject to the same conditions that they are in Lighthouse Point.
And let's be clear about something. You offered a very stern warning to these residents about that betterment at a selectman meeting. Here's what you had to say.
But if you're willing to pay whatever that betterment turns out to be, I don't want to be in a situation where all of a sudden everyone is saying, well, we didn't think it was going to be that much. And if you really want us to decide on a gravity system, we have to have some assurance, and I'm going to be on TV saying it, that people in this room said that this is what they want.
I want them to kind of come back and say, hey, wait, we didn't know it was going to be this much. I want to see how you react.
I said it again at the next selectman meeting.
It's good. Okay, so there you have it.
Yeah, it's...
Welcome to being a selectman.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time.
No, but I will say a couple people told me that that was one of the toughest votes the
Oh, I
selectmen
believe
have
it.
had to
Oh, I
take
believe
in
it.
a while.
I believe
so-
it. Very complex.
It's been on the docket for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And I think you did say that. You're like, we have to vote tonight. We can't
Yes.
put it off anymore.
Yeah.
All right. What else? School's back in session. The time changes. I thought there was going to be drama over this. You didn't know the schools. They shifted a little bit. There's been no time change at all. I mean, no drama. No one showed up at school committee. So well done, school committee and school administration.
They let people know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They did. We haven't done the early release. Do you know about the schools here? They do a late. They do a late
I don't know
start.
how parents keep track of
Oh,
it.
I have no idea either.
Late start Wednesdays.
And they used to do an early release Wednesday, but now they switched it to Thursday. That hasn't happened yet.
Wait, they never
Right?
had an early release.
What do they do?
It was only late start Wednesdays, but this year they're incorporating an early release Thursday.
Good luck, parents. Good luck.
We can't get
I
it
wouldn't want to be.
straight, so.
One thing over at the high school, they got they're welcoming back emotional support animals. Peggotty! Do you know who Peggotty is?
No.
This is little
Oh,
Peggotty.
how cute.
Yeah, she got fired last year.
She got fired?
She got fired. I think
What'd
it's
she
she,
do?
right? Oh, she was deemed a distraction to the students.
Oh, well, she is
She's
cute.
so cute.
She's
though.
back though.
It's hard not to be
I love this
distracting when you're that
picture.
I hope she demanded a raise. That's all I'm saying. Now that she's back.
An extra dog.
By the way, only staff can bring in their animals. So kids, don't bring your guinea pig. They're going to get the boot.
That's true.
Oh,
I wonder
Only staff.
if more people will do that. Do you need to be like trained?
Yes,
I
and now
think so,
here's
yeah.
the other. Yeah,
you need some sort of certification.
Yes, and these aren't service animals. These are specifically trained emotional support animals.
You know who does that?
Who?
Jim Hunt.
Yes, he does.
Wait a
Obadiah.
Let's
right?
speaking of them, we got to talk about Andrea Hunt. You know,
Good
our girl.
segue.
Speaking of animals,
The-
and what's going on
Bird
with
one.
Yes, exactly.
her support animals
I've
gone?
met that
Tell us
bird.
what's
You've
the
met
deal?
I have.
Him? Her?
Yes, he sat on my shoulder.
Oh.
What happened?
So Andrea Hunt posted on Facebook that her beloved Sonny, who is a cockatiel, escaped the house a few mornings ago. He sits on her head and shoulder all day long, and as she walked outside, he went off into the wind. She said if anyone sees him in the trees or bushes, she listed her phone number on Facebook. It has since had 155 shares and over 100 comments. So hopefully he comes home.
You know what's interesting? When I was a child, my mother had one of these.
Really?
And it flew away, but she was devastated after it because she said these birds, they're not normal birds. They like talk to you when you
They
walk
do.
in. They
They
sit,
do.
they hang out with you.
They say nice things to you. They
do.
tell you how pretty you are.
Yeah.
What
they
was your
can repeat.
mom's name? A bird's name?
She called it Bird.
What?
Yeah, I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
Bird.
That was creative.
And then one day the door, she had happened to be out and
Did
it
it
just
come
flew right
back?
out. No, but she walked around the neighborhood and she would see it up in the trees.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
I know, it
It's
would
like
kill her. It
taunting
would
you.
kill her.
Oh my God, that's
I
so
know.
sad.
But I think that also they live for like ever.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thinking about you, Andrea. Thinking about you.
I know. I hope
Maybe
he
you'll
comes
see him
back.
in the neighborhood.
Okay, the football team. A quick shout out to the football team. Our state champs, by the way, their opening game against Marshfield, shutout 24-0. Now they have a bye week. Now they're opening home openers. By the way, they're up at Norwell.
For their home games?
Yes, their
That's
home
good.
games. Yeah. So the first one will be Friday. I think it's maybe Duxbury. I don't know.
We're well informed over here.
Yeah. Know what we're talking about. Okay, so that was drama out of this is not Scituate, but who cares? Denver elementary school teacher. Name was Lindsay. Okay, you know about her?
No.
Yeah, so here she is. So she's a 6th grade teacher.
Oh, she's very pretty.
She's due to give birth at the end of September.
I'm worried. What you
In the first week of school, she's teaching. Has extreme pains.
I don't want to hear about it.
No.
She goes to the principal and says, I think I need to go to the hospital. The principal's like, okay, let's get you outside and get you. So there's the get outside to the sidewalk. She's like, I'm giving birth, I can't make it. What does the principal do? Goes inside, gets a sleeping bag, brings it back outside, and has her give birth on the sidewalk outside
God.
the
I hate these
school.
stories.
Why did he have a sleeping bag in his
I don't love
office?
that, and I mean,
Oh my.
That's horrifying.
now
It is horrifying.
I mean,
Horrifying is the only word. I
can't they
can
get her
describe.
back inside?
Yeah, why
You would
outside? Like,
Elementary school.
that seems unsanitary.
Let's look at the positive. Maybe
Oh,
it's a good.
elementary
Maybe it's a
school.
good.
So they were little.
Yeah, maybe it was a good educational lesson for them. I
No.
mean,
I hate this story.
I hate the story too.
the sidewalk
driving
every
me
time they
crazy.
come in. A quick mention. I forgot to bring this up. You know about this? These.
do.
See Scituate. If you don't know what this is, what is this, Brianna? You know what this is? See Scituate.
That is the promotional campaign for the town of Scituate.
Yes.
You know this. We have a tourist page.
do.
We have a tourist page. Go to situatema.gov and you click.
And given the ban on plastic bags in Scituate now, this is very
Perfect.
timely.
Go
like
get
this.
yours. Do they cost anything? I stole
Well,
this.
they've been giving them away.
I stole this.
He stole a free
I
thing.
did. Well, you know,
Yeah,
do what you
I
got.
think they're free.
All right, we got much more coming up. Karen is going to play Guess That Price at Home of the Week, plus that 15-second legal seafood commercial that is creating drama. They haven't seen it. They're going to watch it live next. Welcome back to Weekly with Brianna T, Karen C, Seth P. Love that ring.
Thanks,
love
Ryan.
that, love that, love that. By the way, I double checked that football game. It is Duxbury that we're playing too. Forgot to mention, your husband, former football player?
Yes.
What?
Yes, Holy Cross.
Kevin, right? Kevin
Yep,
Conley?
Kevin.
Can we show a picture of you guys?
You have a picture of us?
Well, we can stalk you online. Okay, here they are. Tell us. So where?
Kevin and Karen.
Where did he play football?
Holy Cross.
The Cross.
Wrecked his shoulder, still paying the price, but he loved Holy Cross, and our kid went to Holy Cross, so I get a lot of Holy Cross mail.
Oh, I believe it.
That's cute.
Asking for money.
Okay, we teased this a little bit too. Maybe you've seen this. It is the new commercial. It's 15 seconds long. Legal Seafoods, all right? And it has parents, many parents outraged. I'm wondering if you will follow along with what's happening. Everyone stop it. By the way, most don't think it's appropriate for children. We're still going to show it because it's already on TV and your children can watch this at any moment. So
stressed out.
here we go. Ready?
It's kind of lame.
So they're getting ready for dinner.
I see. Okay.
They're cooking.
It's 4:20
all
p.m. and they're
allusions to-
smoking. Yeah.
Right, they're all allusions to marijuana use.
To marijuana.
But,
A little too subtle for me.
and it says welcome to legal because marijuana is legal in Massachusetts
oh,
now.
man. Oh, that's too much work for a commercial. 5.
Would it bother you if you
15
had like little kids?
I don't think little
No.
kids would get it.
No.
Karen didn't get
I didn't get it.
Do you think it's witty? Okay, so you don't get it.
I don't think it's witty.
I don't think it's
I think
creative.
it's kind of like-
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like lowest level
I
humor,
thought it
I
was
think.
sort of drug related because of all the psychedelic
Right.
things.
Well.
But I don't think kids would necessarily.
Definitely not. You don't like it, Seth?
I'm sort of it's an interesting campaign. I think they're trying to really target like a younger audience with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's even their clientele.
Right, and I think that's what they're trying to do. I'm going to send this to Anne-Marie Galvin. Get her all worked up. I love to do that. All right, guess what time it is? Time for that Home of the Week. Home of the Week. With a fun little game we called Guess That Price. Here's how it works at home. Play along. We're going to show you pictures. You try to guess that price here in the studio. Karen is going to attempt now. She's already told us that she should be a master at this. Why, Karen?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Yeah, what'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you
I
say?
said
You should
my
do really
mother was
well.
a realtor. I should do well on this.
She has a
Scituate
leg
for
up.
many years.
All right, so here's how it's going to go, Brianna. Where's our home this week?
This week, welcome to 158 Turner Road. It is
right?
a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom Roughly 1,100 square foot home. It has been listed on Zillow for the last 8 days, already viewed over 1,000 times. Located in Sand Hills, waterfront views. You can enjoy every morning from your spacious master bedroom deck that overlooks the beach just a stone's throw away. Open floor plan opens up onto a large deck that allows for fantastic dining and entertainment options. You will have no issues with parking, as there is a large drive in the rear that allows plenty of space for family and friends. After a day at the beach or out on the boat at one of the neighborhood marinas, grab an ice cream at the neighborhood Sand Hills General Store and stroll to the lighthouse to watch the boats go by. The property is in a prime location at less than a mile away to explore all the culinary and entertainment options down in bustling downtown Scituate. Property is not one to miss, and you will not find a better value in town. Showings began last week, and they had their first open house. It is a single-family home built in 1900.
So I actually did want to choose this one because I weaseled my way into this home, if you
Seth's been in
believe
this
it.
house.
But I went to film the Scituate Beach Association's parade, the parade of the horribles or whatever. And I went on. I saw it was open and no one was there, and I happened to see the realtor, and I said, "Can I go up on that deck and film?" And he let me. So it's. It's.
How big is it again? How
It
many square
is
feet?
1,148
That's it right
to be
there.
exact.
1,148 square feet.
Keep it. Look at that.
So
Look,
this
don't forget
is-
about this, Karen. All the water.
This is directly
Don't
next
forget about
to...
all the storms that come
And
over.
this is the wastewater. I mean, the water treatment center that Will Brenton. By the way, can you
Canoed
get?
out to.
Yes. Can you please get a statue erected to this man? This man
We
saved this
love Will
town. Oh,
Brenton.
God,
I
Will
know.
Brenton.
Wait, so
All right.
Seth, is this directly next to the
1,100
Sand Hills
square
General
feet.
Store?
Yes, that's the story.
And it's on top of it, or it's right beside
Next
No,
to
it.
it's
It's-
next
it's
to it.
between- yeah.
The arrow is kind of
The arrow's a
not
little
pointing
bit
in the right
misleading.
place. That's why I
And it
asked.
has the parking in the back,
I see.
right there. All right, Karen. She says she should be good at this.
$350.
Let's find out. $350 is her guess.
you
Brianna, what is that price?
350 exactly.
God.
Wow. Has that ever happened before? No. Wow. I'm so impressed.
Well, wow.
You are good. Wow.
Hey,
She's right.
Wow.
She knows what she's talking
Seth and
about.
I
20
even
years
said-
of riding around the South Shore with a realtor, looking at
Wow.
houses.
I was like, we're going to get her. She's not
Yeah,
good.
because
It's right
we
by the
thought
water.
350 would
Look
be-
at you. Wow. All right, walk us through your process of
Yeah,
how
I
you
wanna
got to
know
that
how you
number.
got
Well, square footage, first of all. Second of all, location. As much as people like the water, it's a pretty dangerous place to live in the
Oh,
winter.
you think?
So you have to discount that. On the other hand, on the upside, in the summertime, it's beautiful, and if you've got a deck that looks out, and it's not directly on the water, so.
Yeah.
And then you just have to figure out, what is a normal house going for in Scituate these days? You can't find anything for
What's the-
under $350.
Wait, so there's a new Scituate by numbers going around. Let's talk about this. So it
Seth
goes.
loves these.
I love this stuff. I just look at it all day. All right, so it talks about reasons for purchasing a home. What do you think the number one reason is?
I don't
To
know.
have a house to live in?
Desire to own your own home. Good.
Oh.
Factors. Okay, well, I'll give you factors influencing neighborhood. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Why you choose the home? Okay, is it for convenience of job, quality of neighborhood, or quality of school district? What do you think? Neighborhood, convenient to job, or the school districts?
Why
district.
people choose their home?
Yes.
Schools.
Schools.
Probably schools.
It is the quality of the neighborhood.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
Me too.
So this, by the way, this only goes from January of 2019 maybe to July of 2019. So we're getting a snapshot of how the market is now. The most expensive home sold in that period was on
Scituate?
on Scituate.
By this realtor or overall?
Overall, I'm just going to tell you, $3 million. Wait, look this up. 169 Border Street.
Oh, yes.
You know that?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
169
is,
Border Street. I looked on them. I don't think. Sometimes I don't like to drive by those big homes. It makes me sad.
I'm not even
Who-
sure.
who-
Can you see that house? I don't know if you
I
can
don't
even see it from the street.
I don't know, but who has that money? What's 20% of 3 million, Karen? Karen?
Percent is 300
So 600.
Oh, I don't know.
as a down.
We always-
If
yeah.
you're buying a $3 million house, you don't need a mortgage.
That is Correct.
You're
Oh, wait, Seth, we featured this house on the show.
Did we?
Hold on, it's taking
Is
a
it
while.
like the castle type?
Oh, we did. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
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 we did
yes,
this
yes.
before.
That's been
It
on
did
and off
so.
the market for a while.
Wait, wasn't it called like the something home, the
Yes.
dolphin home or something?
Unicorn?
Yep.
maybe?
Unicorn house.
Dolphin.
Okay, we got to mention.
Well, there were dolphins out in the Marshfield.
Yeah, there was a
Oh,
big
yes.
there was a big whale over at Hummerock too. You know that too.
Yeah,
And then
didn't make it.
sharks the other week. Forget
Unicorn
it.
Cottage. So
Don't-
you were close.
Oh yeah, don't go in
Some
the water.
cottage
Yeah.
for $3 million.
Well, we're talking real estate. You know, we have a good friend of the show. We should now, although we pissed her off a little bit. Siobhan Hunter. She's a local real estate agent. She's on the
Sister City.
Sister City.
Oh, right.
And Brenda O'Connor, who's the current chair, is stepping down. The word is Siobhan is going to take over.
Oh, good. Good.
Well
I'm
done.
excited for her.
I think I heard that
Yeah.
at a meeting.
Yeah, she has no competition. Okay, yeah, we're going to move on to pet of the week. Karen, you brought it. You have a pet, right?
I do.
What's
Wally.
his Wally?
The Labradoodle.
Here's Wally on your
More
screen
doodle
there. Tell us
than
about him. How long have you had him?
He'll be 3 in January.
Why'd you name him Wally?
My son's favorite author was David Foster Wallace,
Oh.
and I thought Wallace was too serious, so we
True.
kind of compromised on Wally, who my husband calls Walter. So he doesn't know what his name is.
Very cute.
And he's fresh, yeah.
Thanks. Good. We got to give a shout out to Tubby Tabby, the 35-pound cat out of D.C. That's right. If we knew her, she came in and she was overweight. They tried to like give her some exercise on the
That's
treadmill.
definitely a health
Listen,
issue.
let me just tell you something. She wasn't having this exercise. She gets right off it.
That's
Eventually, they did get her to do some. They put her on a little strict diet. The point is,
Thing.
Where do you find these
she lost some
videos?
weight. She got adopted. So well done.
You just type in fat cats, and fat cats come up.
There you have it. Okay, that's our. Oh, Karen, wait, we're not done. It's tradition, Karen. It is tradition. Final question.
Yes.
If you could vacation with only one selectman, who would you choose?
Maura.
Maura.
Ooh, fun.
You're the first selectman that would answer that question for us. Yes.
Went right into that trap.
If there's one selectman you would not want a vacation with, who
Oh,
would you
no,
pick?
no.
Come on.
That's
Thank you.
close.
All
They're all
right.
very nice people. I have to say it's been a pleasure working with them, and they're really nice.
We've said you've made an impressive debut.
Absolutely.
Well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. Big decisions to come.
try.
All right. Thanks for
I
joining
like
us.
it. I like it.
Good.
People think I'm crazy, but I like
Yeah.
it. I
Nice
didn't
meeting
like
you.
it so
Get
much
easier,
around the
but-
sewer thing that I was kind of,
Well, you're also
was
new. You like it
tense.
now. Give it a year, and you might be like, all right.
well, you know what? If you like to talk to people, it's a great job.
There you go.
Oh.
One way to look at it.
Yeah.
There's your bright side. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Brianna T., newest selectman Karen C., Seth B. We'll see you next week.